Jake Paul fight, what is your reaction when you see that?
I don't really know where to go with this subject because if I say something, I'm going to get backlash.
Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be down. Let's run it. Like, I'd be super, super down.
Jake Paul, someone you'd want to take on at one point?
Yeah, tell him this is my call out. Jake Paul, what up?
Floyd Money Mayweather has finally broken his silence on the much-hyped potential showdown between Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis. And in true Mayweather fashion, he didn't pull a single punch. The undefeated legend delivered a sharp, calculated response that dismissed the spectacle Jake Paul represents while reaffirming Tank Davis as one of the most dangerous, explosive fighters on the planet. With his trademark swagger.
Chapter 1's done tonight. Now we're moving into Chapter 2, and I'm just getting warmed up in the sport. But people hold the Tommy Fury thing against me, but what now? I just beat a former world champion, and I'm coming to avenge that loss as well with Tommy.
Live, only on DAZN.
Mayweather reminded everyone what separates viral fame from real fight pedigree. Jake Paul turned social media into dollar signs, Floyd said. But stepping into the ring with a killer like Gervonta, that's a whole different beast. Mayweather made it clear there's a difference between attention and accomplishment.
Something I'm going to get backlash because,
Okay.
you know, no matter what I say, it's not.
Okay. So you can't
It's
say
not right. But well, basically, when you watching boxing for free, you can have millions and millions and millions, hundreds of millions of views.
Yeah.
But when you're watching Floyd Mayweather, you have to pay.
It's real.
So, I mean, I do pay-per-view. I did pay-per-view numbers.
This isn't the first time. Mayweather has questioned Jake Paul's boxing credentials for years. He said it plain and simple. Jake hasn't faced a real professional boxer yet. In past interviews, Mayweather emphasized that while Paul has done well against MMA names and former champions, a legitimate, elite boxer would expose him quickly. When Jake finally fights a real pro, Floyd said, it won't end well.
He told me before his goal is to fight Canelo, so that's, you know where his mindset's at.
It get fucked up by Canelo. Oh, I'm sorry. It's TMT.
You can curse. You can curse.
I apologize, but
No apologize about it.
There's no way he get demolished.
Once Jake Paul's name appeared next to Gervonta Davis, the boxing world went into meltdown. From analysts to former champions, everyone had an opinion, and they ranged from skeptical to outright disgusted. Some called it a stain on boxing's legacy. Others admitted the financial pull was too massive to ignore. The sports purists worry it cheapens boxing's integrity. The businessmen see dollar signs. The criticism was brutal.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195. It would be an exhibition.
Okay, so it was going to be an exhibition, not sanctioned, but no restrictions. You can knock each other out and shit like that. It was going to be at a catch weight of 195 pounds, 10 rounds, 3 minutes. I've been trying to figure this out. Why was I a Tank hater for wanting to see Tank go up 5 pounds to get some smoke with like Teofimo Lopez or something? I just wanted to see him go up 5 pounds and fight Teofimo Lopez. And all of you are saying, you want Tank hurt, Showbiz. You a hater. You want him hurt. Then I'm convinced, okay, he's too small, but he can fight Jake at 195?
On Essentially Sports, OneFin wrote, Tank Davis moving from 135 to 195 is pure insanity, a clown move. Jake Paul's just begging for a payday. Veteran analyst Paulie Malignaggi blasted Tank's recent opposition, accusing him of cherry-picking and avoiding top-light weights. Meanwhile, champion Shocker Stevenson called the entire idea disrespectful to the sport if Tank chose a YouTuber.
Something else that's unfortunate is the idea that Jake Paul might actually fight Gervonta Tank Davis. This can't be real. When it came up a couple of months ago, I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna cover this because there's no way it's real. There's no way they're really gonna do that because it makes no sense. Why would you do that for him? Outside of it, like, okay, you can look at it like an exhibition, which it will be, and we'll take a look at some of the rule set for it. But Gervonta Davis is one of if not the best, biggest names at 135 pounds, and is an active in his prime fighter. I don't want to hear the similar to Floyd and Logan thing, because at that point, Floyd was retired. Floyd had done all he needed to do in the sport. Tank is still in his prime, still has multiple high-level opponents that he needs to fight. And you could say, oh, you know, the Jake would be a one-off. Side quest. That's fine, but that just tells me that Tank doesn't care about being a high-level champion in the sport anymore.
Over a real title unification bout together. Their voices paint a clear picture. Many in boxing see more risk than reward in Tank taking this fight. In a Fight Hub TV interview, Stevenson made it personal. Man, Tank's being disrespectful to the sport if he picks Jake Paul over fighting me. Shocker said he argued that if Tank truly wants to prove he's the best.
Didn't say you got your eye on Tank. What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fight?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. And he called cap on it. So if he won't call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it.
Canelo Alvarez fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. We promoted that fight many years ago. Didn't knock him out, couldn't hurt him. So imagine if Jake Paul can hurt or even wobble Chavez Jr. It's something that Canelo didn't do or couldn't do. So Jake Paul, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., it's a real fight. Yeah. Look, people keep talking about Jake Paul, well, he's not a real fighter, this and that. Well, he's fighting a real fighter now in Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. It's going to be a good test for both guys. Obviously, Jake Paul, he's a masterclass promoter in what he does. He's been doing some great things. I mean, Mike Tyson, 60 million people. Fighting Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., who, when he trains, when he gets in shape, when he's focused, he will be dangerous for anybody. Look, Canelo Alvarez fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. We promoted that fight many years ago. Didn't knock him out, couldn't hurt him. So imagine if Jake Paul can hurt or even wobble Chavez Jr. It's something that Canelo didn't do or couldn't do. So there's a lot of stories to come out from this, a lot of great stories for Jake Paul. So I just feel honored and proud that we can team up with MVP Promotions, with Jake Paul, and we can make Zurdo Ramirez with Torticos the mandatory. That's going to be a bloodbath in itself. So we're excited.
Everybody really think Tank go take the L. I've been seeing it. They said it's over. They think that this time Lamont go in more confident, knowing that basically he can, really take it to Tank. Yeah, I want him to go in there confident. He's very skilled. Go in there confident, because you gonna go up against a different Tank. Like I told y'all in previous videos, he gonna go in there confident, thinking he could walk Tank down. Don't forget, with Tank, if he get you on that button, them lights going off, I don't care who you is. Remember how it ended up with Frank Martin? So yeah, don't go in there thinking that you going against like somebody that, like Ryan Garcia, somebody that's gonna fold. You're going against Gervonta Tank Davis. And I think that confidence is what's gonna get Lamont dropped. Because one thing I will say, with Tank, that wasn't your best fight against Lamont, bro. I feel like you was in your head too much. You was overconfident, and you was really just, your mind was in y'all story, the lore and everything with y'all history. You ain't going there like I'm fighting a stranger. You going there like, oh, this Lamont, this from the same camp, we from the same area. But now I think that whole situation woke him up, because you got to think, Tank not used to losing. He not used to people being against him. He not used to being the one that like got to step back from a situation. That's why I think he being hushed right now, because when he come this time, it ain't no talking. And that's why I think it's scary, because we never see Tank in that mode where he don't say a word. I think this gonna be a different Tank. And what's crazy is Tank used to be like that in the beginning, like when he was with Floyd. Like, I'm talking about Tank with the fade, with the waves, bro. He ain't used to be on that showboat and stuff until he got, like, a little bit more in the boxing, thing. Of course, once you with Floyd, you gonna start being flashy and doing backflips off the ring. But in his beginning stages, dude wasn't playing. He was dropping I think that's what he about to go to, bro. And we know that people like, man, did he take Calvin off his team? Nah, like he said, Calvin, his boy. I think he just rocking with somebody else right now to get him some sharper skills, to just change up his skill and what people know him by. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I think Tank go take it to Lamont. And that's not me being biased. I think we ain't ever seen Tank like this before. And Lamont, I see your mindset. You keep nagging about that win you should have got. Focus on the new fight. Stop talking about I should have won. You know why? You know why he's feeling like that? Because that's like one in a lifetime. He feel like nobody got that close. I should have took the belt right there. Now I ain't gonna never get that shot again, because he know that boy Tank done buckled up, done cleaned up his mess, and he ready to go. And it's not the same. It's not the same Tank. You ain't Tank. You done gave Tank enough time to think about who you are as a boxer and break you down. Yeah, he's cooked. Remember I told y'all what's gonna happen in August. He's cooked. And I feel like Tank, he walking him down. Like, yeah, watch this. I'm about to make an example, because Tank gonna want to be able to tell everybody to shh.
Real, or what was to it with you and Tank actually being the thing? Was that something that was talked about?
Yeah, no, it was highly talked about and in negotiations and almost ready to make happen, but he has to do his rematch with Lamont and get that W, and then we'll be able to run it back. But me and Gervonta were scheduled to fight for sure.
The only path is through legitimate competition, not crossover exhibitions. Saying you're the best isn't enough. You've got to fight the best. But here's where it gets interesting. Over time, Gervonta Davis's view of Jake Paul has evolved. At first, Tank dismissed him entirely, a loudmouth YouTuber chasing clout in the boxing world. But as Paul kept training, kept fighting, and kept winning,